my dog bark, I apologize.
Don't worry, we'll start barking along.
Yeah, we'll bark along.
Yeah, she's in her crate. She's in the crate right now. So
right, here we go.
Okay. Hey, brothers and sisters, welcome to another episode of the Mayor of Rock and Roll and Friends with Brother Gene, Puri, and who's that? Fran, Sierra?
Yeah.
Tonight we got that's Fran's here. Tonight we got a great show, folks. You're going to like this one. I think a lot of people are tuned in. There's been a lot of excitement. They're already saying things. Look at that. They're already coming up on the board there. We got Brother Mason Reese, who's been a really good friend of mine for 38 years. I mean, 30. I mean, yeah, he's only 21, but we've been friends for 38 years.
Amazing.
We met at the China Club. One of my first friends that I met at the China Club back in 1985. So,
wow.
Mason, you believe that? It feels like yesterday to me. Well, let's have a big hand for Brother Mason Reese. I don't want to take up too much of the beginning there, And, Ed, would one of you guys want to ask the first question, or you want me to do that?
Fran, would you like to? Because I'm trying to do this other stuff real quick.
Okay, go ahead, Fran. You could ask.
This is an honor to be on with you, Mason. I grew up really on TV. I watched all of your commercials. You're like an icon in my head. I still remember you. You're just amazing. How old were you when you started, and what was your first job before you got into the major commercials?
I started when I was 4 years old.
Yeah.
And the very first job I ever had was not a commercial. It was a print ad for Kellogg's Frosted Flakes.
Wow.
And it ran all over multiple newspapers and, magazines inside the Sunday papers, things like that. But then I did my very first commercial was for a company called Ivory Snow. And it was for laundry detergent.
Yes.
And it was a regional commercial. It was New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. And the commercial did so well that I ended up doing 4 more for them. And those ended up going nationally because the response was so good. So I was 4.
Wow.
Amazing. Yeah. But then I became known to the American public when I was 6, when I did the commercial for Underwood Deviled Ham.
Yes.
That was the one that got a lot of popularity, a lot of acclaim. I won an award for it. So, yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And Mason, back what was 1969 was the first?
That was the first spot. And then 1972 was when Underwood hit the screens.
Yeah. And I mean, you were like untouchable in the 60s and the 70s. You were like everywhere.
Yeah.
Cover of the TV Guide. Cover of TV Guide. How many people you know is on the cover of TV Guide?
Yeah, that was 1973.
Yeah. I remember it like it was yesterday. I think
I have a couple of copies. I got a couple of copies socked away in my my closet.
Oh, sure.
You can get them on eBay. You can find them.
Yeah. I bet. Yeah, absolutely.
No, it's an amazing accomplishment, and I'm honored to be part of that family.
Yeah. And as a kid, you were very good. I mean, as a kid, you were very good in front of the camera. How was did you have a hard time remembering lines as a little kid?
No. As a matter of fact, the very first commercial for Ivory Snow, I was 4, as I said, and I beat out 500 kids for the part because I could take a script and memorize it backwards and forwards.
You know what? I remember you telling me that when we did my radio show.
Yeah, that memorization was never a problem. But I will say, I think as I've gotten older in life, it doesn't come to me quite as easily. I have to work quite a bit harder. I did a movie back in April, which we could talk about. But I was in about 12 scenes in this movie. And what I would do is for a month, literally for almost a month, I would have phone calls with my good friend Gordon, who lives in New York City, and he's an actor, and we would just go over lines. And we would do that literally every day for about 30, maybe 40 minutes a day. And when I finally got to the set, I was completely off book. I didn't have to look at my pages or anything. I was probably the only actor there that did, or didn't, I should say. So I think I have to work a little harder to memorize lines now than I used to, but it still comes reasonably easily.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I hear you because, now when you're younger, you have less things on your mind, right?
Yeah.
But when you get older, there's all these things on your mind. And even me, when I do some, I act and all that.
Yeah.
There's been times where I have to, I play, I'll practice my line, put it on the cassette. Because I say to myself, I want to be ready. And a few movies I did, they call me One Take Sal because I listened to it over and over again. So I said to myself, just like a song. If you heard Yesterday from the Beatles for the first time, you wouldn't be able to sing along.
No.
But you hear it over and over again. The next thing you know, you're like, Yesterday.
Absolutely.
So it's the same thing with acting.
If you're One Take Sal, then the producers and directors must love you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I could do one take anymore. But no, I have the movies that I have done, I did mostly one takes, but only because I was prepared.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you said, practice, keep practicing until you have the whole thing in your head like it's like a song.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
now, the movie
it's a good skill to have.
The movie you were talking about, was that, what was it? Was it called Skate to Hell?
Yes, it is. It's called Skate to Hell. It's a comedy horror film. A guy named Sean Phillips wrote it, directed it, co-produced it. We shot a couple of days out in Vegas, actually, which was kind of fun, out in the desert in Vegas. And I can't talk too much about it, obviously, but I can say that I play the devil.
Oh, wow.
I play the devil.
Is the movie came out?
No, it'll come out sometime next year.
Oh, okay. So it's pretty.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we shot it in April. They're in post-production, editing,
Okay.
And they got to get distribution for it, all that kind of stuff,
And, not to change the subject, Mason is also a great drummer. I mean,
I didn't know that.
Hell yeah. Oh, man.
I used to be okay.
He plays many clubs. I used to go see him all the time. He plays the drums. He's phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to be pretty good.
You still play, don't you? No, when you got it, you got it. You really don't lose it that much. Like, you ride a bicycle and you get off and it's hard to get back on. But once you get back on,
it's hard.
That's true. You're right about that. Yeah. But since I moved down to Florida 4 years ago, I haven't played. But I'm going to start. I'm going to start to play again.
You could go to Bobby Nathan's jam.
They ask me to come up all the time. But I want to play a little by myself first.
Yeah.
I want to go into the studio, sit behind a kit with a pair of earphones on, I want to get a couple of hours in before I go up and play with Bobby.
Yeah, I remember seeing it in the China Club. I was just impressed. I was like, damn, he could play, man. I was
that was my favorite place to play.
Me too. I mean, I think I played there sometimes twice a month for 10 years.
Yeah. Well, it was my favorite place to play because I lived a block away.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
How cool is that?
Cool. Very cool.
And I literally didn't have to bring anything. They had all the cymbals and the pedals and the drums. So, for me, it was a walk in the park.
Yeah.
But when you were young, or is that you just started older? You always played the drums when you were younger?
I think I started when I was like 14.
Oh, wow.
But I'm completely self-taught. I never had lessons, never watched any videos of any kind. I just have good hand-eye coordination and I have good rhythm.
Wow.
And I have a pretty decent sense of time, which is important.
Very important.
Oh, yeah. No, you're really good. No, you're a pro. You're a pro. I saw you.
Well, thank you, Uncle Sal. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I'm not just saying that because you're my friend. I watched you play, and you play with top-notch musicians.
I think I actually surprised a lot of people.
Oh, you surprised me.
Like, this kid's a child actor. And he's going to sit behind the drums and he's going to do whatever he does, And then all of a sudden, I'm laying down the groove and they're like, oh, holy shit, this kid can play.
Yo, absolutely. And you know me, I was there every night, and I watched the bands, and I saw you. I said, I was shocked because I was already friends with you, but I didn't know you played.
Yeah. I think you're the only person that was there more nights a week than I was.
Oh, I was there 7 nights a week, even with 104 fever. I didn't want to miss a night. I was like sick as a dog. I'm hanging out, I'm talking to Brooke Shields, I'm talking to Julian Lennon. I'm like sick as a dog. Like, Sal, get away, man! You're gonna get us sick.
Yeah,
I couldn't miss a night. It's like
no, I know it was that kind of thing. You know, it had the energy and the magic. You know,
yes.
that really has never been duplicated since.
No,
unfortunately, but
we were lucky enough to be part of that. Me and you.
Good old days, you guys. I wanted.
Yeah. That was a very special time, especially in New York City.
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough to end up hanging out there like only a month after they opened. My friend Reece worked in there as a busboy, and he told me about it. So I just shot down there, and I couldn't. Yeah. That was it. My whole life changed.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they opened in April of '85. I believe
85.
Yeah,
and the picture of me and you sitting at the table, that was 1985.
I know. How long was my hair? My God, my hair was like down to here.
You're a rock and roll star, brother.
Yeah, well, you know, nobody knew that then, but yeah, you know.
Gene's also a songwriter. Gene writes a lot of songs. Fran's an actress as well. We're all in the music and movies.
By the way, can you hear my dog?
Yes.
Not really. I mean, a little bit, but not really bad.
Okay, yeah, she's yapping. She's yapping.
It doesn't bother us now.
But if I let her into the room, she would destroy everything. So, yeah. She's still a puppy. So.
What kind of dog is it, Mason?
We don't know.
Oh,
we think that she's half French bulldog and half Chihuahua.
Oh, okay.
She's 20 pounds of love.
Oh, I love animals. I have a cat.
Me too. I like animals more than I like most people.
Oh, I agree.
Trust me, I believe that. I understand. I feel
right. 4 people here I trust. Everybody else, I'm not sure.
Yeah, really, exactly.
Even family, sometimes like that.
Yeah.
We'd like to not to bring anybody down there, but our friend Cheryl lost her dad today. That she's friends with everybody on the show. So I want to say hello. Sorry to Cheryl.
Yeah, her
brother. It goes out to you and all.
By the way, just one thing. You spelled my name wrong.
I did?
Somebody did.
Where, on the poster?
Right here.
We're just going to give a shout out to Paul, too.
The thing right there.
Last name is spelled wrong?
Yes, it is.
Where, on this thing?
Yeah.
Oh, that's Gene. You have a
I'll fix that.
I thought you meant on the poster.
What the
No, not on the poster. On the scroll on the bottom.
Oh, that was
the scroll on the bottom.
I got you.
You know what it was? I think Gene was so excited that you were going to be on the show.
I just noticed it. So
thanks for
pointing. I started scrolling it on the bottom. I'm like, oh, that's not how. Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
now he's got it right. That's okay. I think it's because Gene was so excited that you were going to be on the show that he does 20 shows a day, and Mason Reese is going to be on. Mason Reese is going to be on. No, can't be.
There you go.
I get Sal's name wrong all the time.
Is anybody watching? Do we know?
There's some people out there watching on YouTube. I believe there's people listening all over the world.
Nice.
But Mason, I wanted to ask you about your show that you had on YouTube.
Yeah, Gene.
With a good friend of ours, Dawn Wells, who was in there, and that was why did that end? Or
my heart. That's my heart.
That was actually a good show. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. So I'll tell you the genesis of it.
Okay.
About 8 years ago, something like that, I called up my good friend Stephen Wishnoff, who's in LA, who used to work for TV Land, Nick at Night. He was a producer for them.
Oh, wow.
And I said, Stephen, I want to do something. I want to do something creative. What can we do? And he said, well, I don't think it should be Shakespeare. I said, I think that's probably very wise. He goes, I don't know what we should do because I haven't written it yet. But as soon as I write it, I'll let you know. Right. So he wrote the pilot for Life Interrupted. That was the name of the show.
Right.
And it was loosely based on my life. Former child star, grows up, opens up a bar in New York City, which I did.
Oh. The
only thing not true is that I got married and had a kid. I've never gotten married and I don't have any kids that I know of.
Right.
So that I know of. I mean, there could have been a lot of China Club people that might have had no kid, but we won't talk about that. So about 7 years ago, we shot the pilot in LA because all the actors are in LA except me. So I flew out to LA. And we did a full 30-minute pilot for the show. And to promote it, we chopped it up into what they call webisodes. Like little 4 to 5 minute segments. And every week, for 5 or 6 weeks in a row, we would release a new webisode and try to promote it that way.
Right.
Well, ultimately, and it wasn't designed for YouTube, it was designed for regular terrestrial television. But we figured it's a good way to at least release it out there and have people see it and find out about it. So we did. Couldn't sell it. Just couldn't sell the show. At that point in time, there weren't as many networks as there are now. There's not as many options.
Yeah.
But it never got legs. The show never grew any legs, and we just couldn't sell it. I mean, I know that Steven busted his ass out in LA with a couple of other people trying to shop it around. Couldn't do it. Just couldn't do it. But when I reflect back on it, it is without a doubt one of the greatest experiences of my professional career, and especially getting to work with Dawn Wells. That was one of the ultimate highlights of not only my career, but my life. I just was madly in love with her as a human being. She was just such a shining light, a beacon of light. And I miss her terribly. I really do.
Good actress.
Who else was in the cast, by the way?
Well, we had Allison Arngrim, who was Nasty Nellie on Little House on the Prairie.
We love her too.
Robbie Rist was in it.
Right.
He played one of my bandmates that, we had a band together that was very famous at one point, right? Then we had Michael Learned, who was the mother from the Waltons.
Right.
She was in it. We had Erin Murphy, who played Little Tabitha.
Yeah, I love her. Yeah. She's awesome.
She actually played Allison's new wife. Allison divorces me at one point in the show, and then she turns lesbian. I guess I ruined her for all men, I suppose, and she ends up marrying, Erin Murphy, which as far as I'm concerned is definitely an upgrade for me. She's slightly better looking than I am. And that was really what the pilot was all about, was just introducing the dynamic between all the different people, So I can say that we had a blast doing it. We shot the whole thing in 4 days. We worked long days, hard days, a lot of it on location. And it was just an amazing experience. So we had a great cast.
Amazing cast.
Good cast.
Yeah, it sounds.
And I'm honored to have worked with every single one of them. Michael Learned and I were not in any scenes together, but I was on set because I was a co-executive producer. So I was always on set every day, even if I wasn't working. But I got to work with Allison. I got to work with Dawn. I got to work with Robbie, obviously. I had a couple of great scenes with him. So, it was pretty amazing.
That was 2017, right?
Is that what it was?
Yeah, 2000.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds about right.
Yeah, because
I wasn't sure if it was 17 or 18.
Yeah, because I know Steve Wishnoff very well. Me and Steve worked on Oz. I worked with Steve for 3 seasons.
Yeah, man.
One of the regulars on Oz.
Yeah. Well, he's a producer and writer out in LA. Yeah. And, I couldn't think of anybody better to ask to write a pilot and create a show. And I thought it was very funny, to be honest with you. I thought it was a well done, well shot, well produced, and very funny show.
And you know what? I got to talk to Steve because there's no reason to really just stop pushing it because, anything that's, even if it's 10 years old, it'll be new to the audience once it's shown.
Well, the only thing is we would obviously have to reshoot it because Dawn is dead.
Recast it, but you can always cast it as she's passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was a central character in the show.
Right.
Because she plays Allison's mother, but she also plays the manager of the bar that Allison and I owned together.
Right.
So she was a very central character on that show. So we would have to recast it.
Yeah. And it could be done. I mean, especially now, there's so many more networks. There's Tubi and Hulu and Free Flicks and Netflix and so many things. You know, that you might be able to have a better chance getting it out there again.
Absolutely.
So
without a doubt.
Yeah, definitely. And
I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm also 45 pounds lighter.
Yeah, you look great, brother.
Yeah, you're looking like
Yeah.
When I saw you at Chiller, you were like, yeah. And also when you had Chiller, I remember you had put on some weight. We all do. Even Steve Wishnoff, when we worked together on Oz, he was heavy, and now
he's lost a lot of weight since then.
Completely, like wow. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah.
And and you look younger now than you did 10 years ago.
What's your secret?
The only gray I have is in here.
Yeah. And it's the weight.
It was good, everything.
Weight always makes people look older. Hey, I want Gene and Friend. Do you guys have the Rush Hour DVD?
Oh.
Yeah, the one with what's his name?
With Jackie Chan and
Yeah.
Now on that DVD, Mason, you want to tell him?
Go ahead.
No, maybe you don't want it to be known.
No. I'm totally fine with it. So, back in 1990, I did an NYU graduate film called Whatever Happened to Mason Reese. And there was a very young, very naive, about to graduate from NYU Film School, a director named Brett Ratner. Brett Ratner is a multi-million-dollar picture director. Okay,
now.
He did Rush Hour. He did all the Rush Hours, but he also did Red Dragon. I mean, he's done a lot of big films. So he called me up out of the blue, saying, I want to do a short film as my graduate project about you. And I want to call it Whatever Happened to Mason Reese. Okay. Now, we agreed at the time it would only be for school purposes. It would never be used in a professional capacity. Just as an NYU graduate, project for him, right? So unfortunately, during the middle of the shooting, I broke my leg doing the show. Right?
I remember that, yeah.
Well, that didn't really go over very well. I said some bad things about him. He said some bad things about me. And we had a major falling out. Okay? And then years later, I found out that at the end of every Rush Hour cassette, because that's what they were back in the day, they were cassettes, at every Blockbuster, every video rental house in the country, as an added bonus footage, there was Whatever Happened to Mason Reese.
Oh, wow.
And it's on the DVD as well. I have the DVD. I just watched it again.
I don't know if they still make them that way, but yeah, they certainly did,
It's on there, yeah.
So I actually ran into Brett in New York City one day. He was already living in Hollywood at that point. And I said, hey, Brett, I never signed a contract saying that you could distribute this film for the public. And he said, yes, you did. I said, okay, I'll tell you what. When you go back to LA, you go to your office and you fax me a copy of that contract. He never did.
Oh.
So, consequently, years and years and years go by, and now we are really good friends again. And we've reconnected. As a matter of fact, there's a term which I'm sure you guys know because you've been involved in film called color correction. Okay. So not only did Brett Ratner donate some money towards the pilot of Life Interrupted, but he actually gave us the team that does all of his color correction for all of his movies.
Oh, wow.
So he literally saved us thousands and thousands of dollars having to go to a color correction company, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think at the end of the credits of Life Interrupted, we thank him, for his, help on the project.
Sure.
And at one point in time, I was thinking about moving out to LA, and he said, you can come live with me in my house in Beverly Hills until you find your own place, things like that. I have some really nice pictures of the two of us. So we're on good speaking terms now. But it took a long time to get to that point.
Wow.
Yeah. I figured that was an interesting thing to bring up, because I figured Gene and
Fred,
Fred.
It is. And the thing is also, and I think I'm not telling any stories out of school. I think Brett would be the very first person to admit this. He took my graduate project to fashion designer, record producer, married to the tall Asian. Help me out here.
I'm trying to think.
Producer married to a tall Asian.
He is in fashion. He's a music producer. He married to a beautiful Asian model, like a 6 foot tall model. He's an older guy now. He's probably in his 60s. Very famous, Sal.
Yeah, I can't think of what that is.
Oh my God, I can't believe this.
Is that the one that knows Clive Davis by any chance?
No, the black guy.
Oh, black guy.
Black guy. Light-skinned black guy. New Yorker. Very famous New York
guy. You would know, because I don't know a lot of people in New York.
I probably know who he's talking about, but
anyway. Not Versace. Not Versace.
No, black guy.
I know. I'm just
Versace's Italian.
I didn't know.
Versace looks like you, actually.
Okay.
He actually looks a lot like you, Jim. No.
Jimmy, yeah. There's so many.
I swear to God, I just had it. Russell Simmons.
Who?
Russell Simmons.
Russell Simmons. Oh, okay, yeah. All right, now I know you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm turning 60, by the way, next year, and wow.
And I'm 64.
You look good, though.
I do. Natural black for men, brother.
So he took whatever happened to Mason Reese, and I don't know how he got it to Russell Simmons, but he did. Russell ended up giving him a $10,000 donation to do other projects. And then he ended up hiring Brett to direct a lot of videos for him. Then Brett started directing videos for other people. And then he got hired to do Rush Hour. So,
wow.
He's actually admitted in interviews that I am the one who literally started his career.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right. Because he did the film with you first before anything.
I was his first project he ever did.
And you know what? There's there's that famous actress who was in a lot of movies. She was one of the girls with you.
Rebecca Gayheart.
Eyes, black hair, huh?
Rebecca Gayheart.
That's what. Yeah, I watched.
That ended up being his wife.
Because I knew we were doing the show, so I said, "Let me put that on again." I pulled out my Rush Hour DVD and watched the whole thing.
Yeah.
And when you get the sword goes through your throat, and you're like, ah.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
And I saw her. I said, "Oh my God, I forgot she was in this." But she was like
Becky Gayheart. Yep.
Do you guys know who he's talking about? She was in a lot of movies.
Yeah.
Really pretty girl.
Yeah, she was an actress, really beautiful girl. She ended up being Brett's wife for a while.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they ended up getting married. They were high school sweethearts.
Wow.
And I don't know where they're,
that I didn't know
now, but yeah.
I didn't know that.
I mean, actually, one of the girls that was also in the back of the limousine with me, I believe, was a woman named Cynthia Bailey, who ended up becoming a huge fashion model, beautiful black girl, gorgeous black girl.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yes.
And she ended up being, I believe, one of the housewives in Beverly Hills, I think.
Oh.
Cynthia Bailey. She was one of the girls in the back of the limo with me.
Oh, man.
Crazy, right?
And that scene is so crazy. When I was watching it again the other night, it's like everything's going at fast speed. You guys are
Yeah.
I think that's where you got hurt in that scene.
That is where I got hurt, yes.
Yeah, because I remember hanging out with you at the China Club after you filmed all that, and you were walking with the cane for a while.
Wow.
And you would come down, me and you'd be sitting right by the door there where the coat check was.
Yeah, yeah.
And you tell me the whole story, and you were just shooting this film, and you fell and you messed up your leg, and I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
And you used to always do that. I don't know if you remember, whenever you used to see me, that was our handshake.
Yep.
Little finger thing.
I do remember that. And that's very similar to the one I had with Chris Saleo, too. Who used to manage the China Club, just for people who don't know.
Brother Chris, yeah. I hope he's watching. And I hope they're all watching.
I just saw him recently.
How's he doing? All right?
He's doing great.
Brother
He's
Chris
doing really good. He always does.
He's the best.
I was in New York for 10 days.
Oh, man. I wish I knew.
Back in October. I was there for 10 days. And I went to his new restaurant that he works at. And we had lunch at Dynastia in New York City. We had a good time.
A couple of China Club reunions that I went to.
Yeah, that Chris and I had at our bar
that
we owned together.
Yeah. Well, that was in the picture with me, you, and there goes Brother Mason. Yeah,
right.
Cool stuff happening.
So people can see who what he's done.
Yeah, that's a brand new headshot. Actually, that's like 3 months old.
Yeah, I remember when you were posting and you were asking people this one or this one, or should I use this one or this one? And everybody picked this one.
Blue.
Even I said this one.
Wow, you're going to be 60. You look so good in there. Wow.
Yeah.
So young.
Yeah. Oh, is this from IMDb?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh God.
I'm just giving people a little idea of what what you did.
I remember all that. Wow.
Dunkin', I didn't know you did Dunkin' Munchkins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was in 1977.
I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what my wife told me about, the smorgasbord one.
That was on MeTV.
Smorgasbord.
Yeah, MeTV actually posts things about me all the time.
I love
me. It's funny because they never hired me.
Yeah. Oh wow.
But they love to talk about me, which is
there it is, right there.
There's Life Interrupted.
Yep. Oh, that was such a great show.
Yeah, I'll be honest, man. Just looking at that photo kind of just like makes my heart, feel.
And you know what? Just that picture alone looks like it would have been like the perfect sitcom. Just by looking at that picture, that picture would have made like the cover of TV Guide like that. It looks like a cover of a TV Guide, right?
Yeah, that's a real bar in Los Angeles, by the way.
Yeah, we got to talk to Steve Wishnoff and say, Brother Steve, man, let's push this thing because
we got to bring it back.
It's never too late. It's just like, yeah, absolutely. There's, and if anything, you reshoot it. Maybe I'll be in it myself this time. I could play Uncle Sal.
Yeah. By the way, that sticker that you just had on, whatever happened to Mason Reese, Brett Ratner actually made those.
Oh, the actual.
They're real stickers.
Yeah,
and I have many of them. He gave me like 30 of them to keep.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's cool, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys know that also Mason, when he was little, he was also a regular on the Michael Douglas show?
Yes, I know. I remember that. I remember.
Yeah, wow, I didn't know that. I
did that show 32 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time the show was on, Mason was on the show. Every single time I saw it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dancing on there. And
I did all kinds of crazy things on that show.
Yeah.
When I first walked into the China Club and I saw you and I said, oh my God, that's the kid from the commercials. Because that was 1985. I was 27.
I was 20.
Yeah.
Well, no, 87 you said, or 85?
85.
Yeah, I was 20
no,
years
right,
old.
Right. I was 25. What am I talking about?
Yeah, I was 20 years old.
Right. And I was 20.
I don't think I was even legally allowed to be in there, I don't think. I think the legal age was 21 at that point.
My God. And those were magical times. I mean, right, Mason? We'd walk in and, Robert Gordon's over there and David Bowie's over there and Nile Rodgers is over there and Billy Squire's over there. Eddie Murphy's over there. It's like, you're like, oh my God.
And I got to say something, Sal.
Yeah.
I think if my mind is correct on this, my memory, I think you were the only person that actually walked around carrying a camera.
Yeah. You said that to me many times. You told me that. You said, you're ahead of your time because you were the only one walking around with a camera. Because that was my thing. I wanted to get.
Well, there were no cell phones back then.
Yeah, no cell phones.
There were no camera phones. People didn't have that kind of technology in 1985.
Right.
That's right.
But Sal had a little camera he used to wear around his neck. And he'd walk around and people were nice enough to take photos with him.
Yeah. Because that became part of the clique.
Let me ask you a question. Did anyone ever say, fuck off?
Never.
No?
I never had
Amazing.
anybody say that to me ever.
Amazing.
You know what it is? Because I think everybody liked me. I mean, I treated everybody like family.
Well,
and I didn't take pictures with them right away. I became friends with everybody first. You know,
Right.
I started going every night, and then I met
yeah.
Julian and Mitch Weissman and this one
Right.
and that one, and just became part of the whole clique. We were a clique.
Yeah.
We really were. I mean, you know, a Cher would come in with Rob Camilletti. I'd sit with Cher.
I spoke to Rob a week ago.
How's he doing?
He's doing good. He's down here in Florida.
Oh man, you gotta tell him I said hello, man. I love Rob.
Yeah,
Rob
we're
Camilletti,
planning on, doing a barbecue or something soon.
Yeah. You guys know Rob Camilletti, Gene and Fran. He was Cher's boyfriend.
Oh yes, I remember him.
I remember hearing about it because I know she had Greg Allman and she had the other guy and
Rob
Gene Simmons
Camilletti.
as well, but I didn't know about that guy.
Well, Rob wasn't famous at all.
No.
He was just a really good-looking, young, hunky Italian guy.
Right.
Yeah.
You know? And we were at a club called Heartbreak.
Oh yeah, I played
all
there.
the way downtown, and literally Cher saw him from across the dance floor. You know, and she had a set of balls on her, so she went up to him and said, "I think you're really hot looking." And
away from that, yes, you did.
You know, he said, "Oh my God, you're Cher," and the next, thing you know, they're dating each other.
Yeah.
I remember when I had Rob's when they lived in New York, and I would call up a couple times. I talked to Cher on the phone.
Yeah.
I called Rob.
Yeah.
And you know, Cher knew me because we sat at the China Club at the table, and they actually had like the some of the bouncers stayed in front by the table because they had everybody's going crazy for Cher.
Yeah, you know, I sat next to her one time, like one table away from her, but I never met her.
Oh, really?
Never met her. No.
Oh, no, I had the laughing the whole night. I did the whole skit of Nicolas Cage from Moonstruck. I lost my hand. I lost my bride. Johnny has his hand. Johnny has his bride. You want me to put a heartbreak on the shelf? And she was like, oh, my God. You know, Cher was like, Sal, you know the lines better than I do.
Listen, the fact that you had the intestinal guts and fortitude to walk up to these major stars is amazing.
Do you know, I never was intimidated by anybody. I walk up to them like as if they're supposed to know me. And that's how I did. I just walked right up to them and shake their hand and change numbers by the end of the night. And, you know, did that. As soon as I walked in, the first night I walked in, who's walking towards me going to the bathroom? Julian Lennon. And I said, yo, what's up, brother? I went right up there. He goes, hey, mate. Yeah. And then I said, I went to hung out. I just walked right up to the table and sat with him and Carlos Alomar, Carmine. They were like looking at me like, who is this guy? I said, you guys don't mind if I join you, do you? And I just sat down at the table. They were looking at me.
That would never happen today. That could never happen in this world today.
I don't know. I mean, you know, it's just something about me that I don't know. Even
you're likable. People like you, and you're not intimidated. You're not afraid of anybody. You treat everybody with respect, and you care about them, and you do not discredit them by thinking that they're bigger than you. You keep everybody at the same level. That's why they love you.
Yeah,
I think that's a big part of it.
Right?
Yeah, it is. It is. You're right. And I'm always smiling. I always get the big smile, so I'm very welcoming. You know, I like have that welcoming smile.
Hey Mason, my wife's got a question for you. Sandy, she's a children's book author. Go ahead, ask Mason your question. Go ahead.
Hi, Mason. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
I was just wondering about your education. Did you go to a private school, public school, or I always wonder, with celebrities.
Right. So I started by going to St. Michael's Montessori School in Manhattan, New York City. And from there, I went to Professional Children's School, which is where a lot of actors, dancers, Juilliard students, School of American Ballet performers went to my school. Famously, Brooke Shields went to my school. Milton Berle went to my school.
Oh, wow.
Macaulay Culkin went to PCS. That's what we called it, PCS. And I never went to college. Didn't feel the necessity. I always knew in the back of my mind and in my heart that whatever I was going to do with my life was not going to be dictated by a piece of paper in a frame up on a wall. And I was right. I was 100% right. I hated school. I hated every school I ever went to. Was not challenged by them. Found it very boring, very uninteresting.
Yeah.
My personal life was 1,000 times more exciting than anything they could have ever taught me.
Yeah.
You know, my teachers hated me because I got D's in every class, just enough to get by. I did just enough to pass, the class.
Yeah.
And they would say to my parents all the time, "Why is your son doing this? We know he's incredibly intelligent. Why is he doing that?" And my answer was, well, when you co-hosted the Mike Douglas show, when you've done, 1,000 different talk shows, when you've appeared on TV Guide, when you've flown the Goodyear blimp, when you've been the ringmaster of the Barnum Bailey Circus.
Wow.
Algebra is pretty fucking boring.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Don't sugarcoat it. You're right. You're right.
History is pretty damn boring when you've done what I've done in my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, and a lot of time, it's the funny thing is with a lot of people I know who didn't go to college or didn't even graduate regular high school.
No, I actually did not graduate. I got a GED.
Yeah. And I know people who are billionaires who never finished school. Absolutely. And I know people who went to college and still don't have a job. So I know people that they went to college, but they don't know what to do with their life.
100%. And I knew that whatever I was going to do in my life was going to be creative.
Right.
I mean, I ended up owning nightclubs and bars. That's obviously business, but there's a creative entity as well, to those particular jobs. And I just instinctively knew that I would be good at the hospitality business. I knew that I'd be good in the restaurant and nightclub world. So at 30, I opened up my first one. So
and you had 3 of them, right?
I had more. I had Destination, Now Bar, place called the Luxury Box. Did I say Destination? Did I say that one?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
I think it's Paladar, which is a Latin restaurant in the Lower East Side. I think I had 5.
Wow.
And a place called Mason's on the Upper West Side.
All in New York, right?
All in Manhattan. All in Manhattan.
And the one that we had, the China Club reunion, that was
a place called Destination.
Destination.
That was like a neighborhood pub.
Yeah, it was nice though.
That was on Avenue A.
Avenue A. Yes, I remember coming.
Yeah, Chris Saleo, the general manager of China Club back in the day, he and I were partners in that.
You were partners, and I came to that. Matter of fact, there's the picture that I've been promoting the show with me, you, Marianne, and rest in peace.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right? Well, Jesus Christ. What's her name?
I'm having a brain fart on that one.
You see what I mean? I mean, how can we forget anybody's names? This is what happens when you get old now.
She was a waitress there. Lauren
Donadio.
Yes.
Lauren Donadio.
Yeah, Lauren Donadio. Yeah, may she rest in peace. That's right.
Very good friend of ours.
Yeah, she was a sweetheart. They all were.
That
were
picture
all
of me,
people.
you, her, and Marianne was at that night.
Yeah. Those were a couple of really fun parties. We had 2 really good parties there.
Yeah. That was a great party.
Yeah.
And good food too. Brother Mason supplied some serious
good food, good booze. I know what you want.
Yeah, baby.
Do you have any play open anything up in Florida where you are now?
I'm thinking about it. I mean, I've basically been retired since basically 2015.
Okay.
I've kind of led a very relaxed life, but there are moments when I think about opening up something down here. Yeah, in Delray Beach, which is where I live.
Oh, I love Delray Beach. Beautiful.
Yeah, I love it too. I really love it down here.
The beaches are gorgeous there. Oh, I love it.
I'm not a beach guy, but I just love the city itself.
Oh, Delray Beach area is beautiful. I have friends there.
Love it.
We should open something out there. Oh my goodness.
It takes money and it's
have a jam night.
Yeah, jam night.
That's why I like going to see Bobby and Joanne Nathan, because it just makes my heart feel good, and they're so much fun to hang out with, and I love going to see live music. I love it.
And friend, you see what Mason's talking about, Bobby Nathan. That's all summer long. Bobby Nathan and his wife Joanne, they still own Unique Studios. They come here every summer, and the place Barbecue, where you see me playing and jamming. Yes. That's who Mason's talking about. They live in Florida, but they come to New York
Yeah,
for
they
the
go
whole
back and
summer.
forth. They go back and forth.
Back and forth.
But
And
they
I
live,
go to
they live in Delray Beach.
Yeah, and I go to the jam every Wednesday when they're here.
Yeah.
And barbecues.
In Patchogue, yes.
Nice.
We're
Yeah,
down-
they're really good people.
And we got to give a shout out to Paul, by the way. Paul Ali,
Paul
who
Ali, Paul
creates
Ali.
a beautiful poster.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was nice, actually.
Yeah, he's really good.
That was nice. It was very colorful and
Does a great-
excellent. I love it. Very psychedelic and
I
colorful.
wish I knew how to do that stuff. I'd love to be computer literate, to the point where I can design and things like that. But I'm not. So.
Yeah, no, neither am I. That's why when he makes the posters, I'm like, whoa, that's beautiful.
I have no idea.
I said, no, that's great. Don't worry.
Yeah, I mean, I have enough time on my hands. I guess I could learn it, but.
Yeah, but now you and Gene are going to do a show, baby. So that's.
Well, I can talk about it now.
Are you guys going to have me on as a guest?
No.
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 No, I don't blame you.
It doesn't fit the format.
Right.
I'm not kidding.
It doesn't fit the format, brother. Sorry.
You're right. That's right. You're right. I was supposed to be.
You're not a child star.
I was a child, not a child star. I'm an old one.
But you were a child.
Yeah, one time.
At some point. Yeah. No, this would be a podcast where I would interview former child stars.
Yes, I know. I'm only kidding.
Casting directors that work with former child stars, producers, maybe even the parents, up and coming child stars, things like that.
There's so many of them too. I mean, you could go.
Yeah, well, there's a lot, and there's a big pond to fish out of for that.
All the people from Brady Bunch, people from
everybody,
family.
There's hundreds of them. Hundreds of them.
Oh yeah.
And if we did 10 episodes a season or whatever, we could do 10 seasons. Not a problem. Not a problem.
Now, also, I'm Fran. You want to ask a question? I thought you were saying something.
No, in the 70s, there was a lot of child stars because there was a lot of you said, the Brady Bunch and all those shows. And a lot of those, I see actually a lot of reunions come out of those things till this day.
Yes.
Yes. Are you going to do anything from when you were a child star now? I mean, do you have anything that you think you're going to be doing? Nothing? No?
No. I mean, the truth of the matter is this. And I hope that this doesn't come off in any arrogant way. Okay. I don't have to work.
Yeah. Good.
I don't have to work.
Arrogant at all. You deserve it, brother.
You deserve it. Yeah, you do.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Doesn't sound,
I would like to work. I'd like to do something creative. Like when I got a call for Skate to Hell, it came out of nowhere.
Right.
And they called me on the phone and they said, we would love for you to do this independent comedy horror movie. And we want you to play the devil. And I didn't even read the script. I just said, I'm in. I'm done. That's it. So they flew me out to Las Vegas. I was out there for 4.5 days. They paid for everything, all expenses paid. They paid me very nicely for the 2 days that I worked. And I loved it. I loved it. It was great. I have a new agent in New York City, a guy named Roger Paul, who also represents people who were very famous at one point in their lives, not so much anymore, but it worked a lot. And he represents a lot of those people. And he knows exactly what kind of projects I would like to do. So if anything comes across his desk that he thinks is appropriate for me, I'll audition for it, or I'll do it, whatever it is. But I'm in a very fortunate position where I don't have to.
Right.
And, I've done a couple of these autograph shows like Chiller, the one that Sal goes to, in October. And I appreciate them. I think it's a wonderful way to for fans to meet people who are iconic to them and important to them. And I've done a few of them. I think I've done 4 of them total. Truth be told, I don't like doing them.
Right.
I find it very, very difficult to sit behind a table for 8 hours a day.
Yeah, it's tough.
For 3 days in a row.
Yeah.
It's very difficult for me. It's hard on me emotionally. It's hard for me to focus on it. And ultimately, it puts me kind of in a cranky mood because I can be that way sometimes. I can be a little nasty sometimes. I'm not going to lie. And I don't have to do the autograph circuit. That's another thing. Yeah, that's all I can really say about it. I would like to do something creative. I really would. I think it would make my heart feel great. I don't have to.
No, it's on your own time. You want to do it, you do it. Exactly.
Yeah, and it's at my own discretion as well.
Right.
And I told that to Roger, the agent. I said, look, and this one will let you know, you may think that it's a perfect opportunity for me. But if I read it and I don't like it, I'm not going to audition for it. I'm just not going to do it because it's not something that's going to make me happy.
Right.
And I'm going to do things that make me happy.
Absolutely. Not, especially you really don't have to work. Why do anything that you don't enjoy? That's great.
Yeah. And I left New York for one very specific reason. I wanted to reduce my stress levels.
Yeah.
And New York can be very stressful.
Yeah.
Now, I want to say, I love New York. And I will always love New York. It is my heart. It is my soul. It is in everything I think, everything I do. It's in my DNA.
Right.
But when I was 56 years old and I needed a change of life, 55, I guess I was, I found out about Del Rey.
Right.
And I went down, I checked it out for a few days. I saw a condo I liked and I bought it and I haven't looked back.
Beautiful.
How long you been living in Florida now?
4 years.
4 years. Wow.
September was 4 years.
Oh, wow.
I could always go back to New York. I could always go for a week. I could always stay with a couple of friends that I have. Not a problem. And I like to call it getting my injection, getting my vaccination of New York, because I do need it. I miss New York and I love New York. But I wanted something
exactly.
That just my life would be more relaxed.
Yeah.
I have a pool. I have the hot tub. I have everything now.
You live in the dream.
I would not have had in New York.
You live in the dream. You deserve every bit of it.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. And that's what you worked for. And I mean, that's what anybody works for. You want to get to that point where you're a comfort level.
Yeah.
And relax. Like me and my wife were both relaxed. We're retired. And we do whatever we want that makes us happy. And that's nothing.
Right. If I want to go out, I go out. If I want to stay in and cuddle with my dog, I stay in and cuddle with my dog. Yeah. That is my life.
Yeah.
If I want to go see live music down on Atlantic Avenue in downtown Del Rey, I hop in an Uber and I go there. That's it. That's it. That is my life.
Life is a short stay, man. While you're here, you got to do the things that make
exactly right. And why, if you can, and you have the ability to reduce stress in your life, I advise everybody out there to do that. Because it really helps. It really does.
It really is rough for some people. Like me, I work 2 jobs and it's hard. I would love to do it. And but some people can't. And you're blessed that you can do that. And that's a really good thing.
Yeah. But I mean, I put in my dues, doing the acting thing. I did 20 years in the nightclub business.
Yeah.
20 years I did nightclubs and bars and restaurants.
Wow.
And now I'm enjoying the fruits of my labor.
Yeah. I mean,
that's it. Now, that being said, if there's anybody out there that wants to hire me, let me know.
Hey, Frank, you got to tell him maybe this guy that you were telling me about that wants me in the movie that you told me last night.
Yeah.
Want to put Mason Reese in the movie with us too.
We're hiring Sal for a part. We're gonna.
Just let me tell me what the idea is, and let me look at a couple of pages, and maybe we can work something out.
Got to get Brother Mason in there.
This is actually something that he might. I'm going to talk to him about it.
Listen, clearly, I'm a unique character.
Yes.
I'm not going to play just any role in any situation, right? So it's going to be something obviously a little bit unique, a little different.
Yes.
But
out of the box.
In this last movie, I played the devil.
Yeah.
Who knew? Who knew that at 59 years old, I'd end up playing the devil.
Yeah.
Now, you also did a thing called Sunday in the Park with Dogs.
Yeah. So my good friend, Robert Rosenbaum, who's a producer and a writer, he came up with this little, I think it's about 7 minutes long, maybe 6 minutes.
It's a little
and it's a little animated short cartoon. His wife did the animation and the music and things like that.
Nice.
And it's just a 2-character little cartoon where I play a dog.
Oh.
I play basically a Brooklyn kind of wise-ass dog.
Now, is that on YouTube? I was looking for it. I couldn't find it. I don't know where it is. I was looking.
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
That's a really good question. So you looked on YouTube under Sunday in the Park with Dog?
Yeah, I looked. It might,
and it wasn't there.
It might be. And maybe I keep scrolling. Maybe I didn't scroll enough. Because when you put certain titles in.
I'll tell you one thing. It's not on my personal page on YouTube. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
And it should be because, it's very funny. My mom loved everything I did, but she was a very harsh critic at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the most favorite things I ever did in my career was that little cartoon.
Mm.
She absolutely loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I go over to her apartment, she would say, put that on the TV for me.
Yeah.
I want to watch it again, and she just loved it. And it's kind of a spiritual little cartoon. It's kind of like, it really is all about the meaning of life. And the interesting thing about it is if you look at it written out, it's Sunday in the Park with Dog, but it's D-O capital G. Okay? And that's significant.
Yeah.
Because you walk away from the cartoon, not only am I a dog, but maybe I'm God. Maybe I'm God.
That's what I thought you were coming with.
Maybe I'm God talking to this lonely gentleman on a park bench in the park because I'm very wise and I'm very sage. And my answers are kind of smart ass, but they're very straight to the point and they're very smart and very wise. So that's why he wrote it D-O capital G, because one of my lines is, dog is God spelled backwards.
Right.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So am I a dog or am I actually God talking to this little lonely old man on a park bench through the physical being of a dog?
Sure.
Wow. That's deep. Very deep.
It is.
And it is.
It's a very cute little cartoon and it's funny. And the design of it is beautiful.
I try to find
and it's funny because the dog has my hair. It kind of looks like a little bit of a beagle, but he's got the red dew on his head.
Cool.
So it kind of looks like me at the same time.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
gotta find that.
Yeah.
And
Sunday in the Park with Dog.
I could see why your mom really enjoys that because it is true. I truly believe that if God is everywhere, if you don't see God in this, if you don't see God in that, the bird or whatever, and humans, then you won't see God because God is everywhere. So God also could be going through anything. I've seen that movie. What's it called? The Invincible, or something like that, where the Spirit of God goes through the people and makes them say things, going through certain animals, make them do things. So I could see why your mom liked that.
You could argue that gods are more dog-like than humans. I mean dogs are more godlike than humans.
That's so true. Yeah.
You could very easily argue that because they're pure. They're pure and they just want you to love them and they want to love you and that's it.
That's animals. That's all pets. I feel.
Yeah. And I've always been a dog lover. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And luckily she's not barking right now.
Yeah.
You always had a dog, even in the China Club days. I remember you had a little dog you used to bring to the club. You'd be sitting on the couch up there by the coat check, and you have a little dog with you. We all
sometimes. But he used to come to me when I used to work at Destination pretty much 5 days a week. I was there.
Yeah.
He would literally come to the bar every day.
The dog.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Buddy,
I remember.
Buddy, that was his name. Buddy. His real name was Buddy Rich. But
I like that. The drummer, right? The drummer. Sure.
The drummer.
At the China Club reunion, the dog was there at the China Club reunion. I remember. And you lived right upstairs, right? At the China Club reunion, that club.
No.
You didn't? Or you owned the building or whatever, right?
No.
Oh, I remember you going upstairs at some point.
No, I think what you're thinking about, Sal, is a club I used to own called Now Bar.
That's the one. Now
I know WBAR. That was on 7th Avenue South in the Village.
That's
For
right.
1 year, I lived on the 2nd floor.
Oh,
Right. See, so I've been to like two of your bars then.
Yeah, that's what
I
you're.
kept
I
thinking I
believe
lived the
that's what you're
same one.
thinking about. Yeah,
Oh,
no, I pretty
no.
much always lived on the Upper West Side.
Yeah.
I was an Upper West Sider through and through. That was my neighborhood.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. You would go upstairs and then come back down, and you had the dog with you.
Yeah.
To so many places. I thought it was the same spot.
Yeah, unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago.
Oh, poor
and it took me 2 years before I adopted another dog. 2 years.
Sometimes it's like, even though I have a dog, it's like you have these pets, and like, life is sad enough as it is. You're losing friends and human beings, and then you have these pets that breaks your heart too.
A big piece of my soul died.
Yeah, I mean, there's people. I mean, Dominic. Dominic from the church.
Yeah, he's little chihuahuas.
He's been devastated about his dog for years. Yeah. I mean, when his dog Clyde, he called him Clyde.
Yeah. Clyde, yeah.
And we did a whole GoFundMe thing for him and all that stuff. And he still talks about Clyde, like
Yeah. Oh, listen, I love my new dog. I've had her for a little over a year, and I love her. I really do.
Yeah.
But it's a different type of love.
Yeah.
It's not the same love that I had for Buddy. It's just not. There was something about that dog.
Each one has their own special love for each other.
Yeah.
I felt that same way with my second dog. I understand exactly.
Yeah,
but guys,
he was my soul. He was my soul.
Yeah.
We're up to the hour now. And yeah.
Okay.
We're going to have to end the show. But any last things you want to ask or any last things you want to say before we end the show? Mason.
Not really. I think I said it a minute ago. Does anybody out there who thinks I'd be appropriate for a project?
Yeah,
How did they get in touch with you? Is your emails, Facebook?
Yeah, I can give you an email. It's Mason Reese, my full name, NYC@gmail. That's the email I use the most. Or they can contact me directly, Facebook Messenger, which, by the way, is how the producer and the writer of Skate to Hell got to me.
Mason, that guy, Matt, somebody just said that thing is on YouTube.
It's on YouTube, yeah.
There you go. That's exactly how it's spelled, just like that.
Matthew Holland.
Thank you, Matthew. I appreciate it. I know Matt Holland very well.
Oh, okay.
I don't call him Matthew. I call him Matt.
So I got to look again because you know what? Sometimes I go on YouTube and you're scrolling. I look for my own stuff and I'm scrolling and scrolling.
Nat, I heard you're going to be down in my neck of the woods in a few days. We'll definitely go shooting while you're here. That's something I like to do, by the way. I like to go to the range. I like to shoot.
Good.
You have a permit, Mason?
Yes, I do.
Nice.
Yeah.
And in Florida, it's illegal. Illegal to have a gun.
It not only is it legal, but you don't even need a permit anymore.
That's right.
See what the difference?
You do not need a carry permit to have a gun in Florida now.
What I'm going to do, Mason, I think we're friends already. I'm going to put you on my film page. I have a music film page.
Cool.
There's so many directors, producers, actors. There's everything on that page.
Beautiful.
And you, as somebody, I know somebody's going to want to work with you. So,
well, also now that I have an agent,
okay,
I guess I should promote my agent.
Yeah.
It's probably a good thing to do. His name is Roger Paul.
Okay.
And he's in New York City.
Okay.
Been around for a long time.
All right.
He's been an agent for over 30 years.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Super nice guy.
Yeah.
I'll go in there. I'll send you an invite.
Cool.
And you can put whatever you want on that page. You can, like you said, you could do anything like that. And
yeah, I wish I knew a little bit more about Skate to Hell, but I don't know what the status is yet.
Okay.
I know they're in post-production. I know they're editing. I know they're going for distribution at this point. But what I do know is it'll probably be like on a Freevee or a Roku channel,
right.
One of the streaming services. That's where it'll probably be available to be seen.
Right.
But I don't know which one.
And what about a premiere, like premieres in Long Island, New York, or Florida? You're going to do it?
I don't have any idea at this point.
Sure.
I would think as we get considerably closer, I'll know.
Yes. Okay, that'd be great.
But right now, I think we're still probably 6 months away.
All right, so that's
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to it. I had so much fun doing it. So
Yeah. That's
yeah.
good. All right. So I'll keep in touch with you, and like I said, I'll invite you on my page. And I think there's a lot of people that would love probably to talk to you. So
Beautiful. Otherwise, I'm enjoying the warm weather and the sunshine and my pool and my hot tub.
nice.
Yeah, baby.
Enjoy your time.
Yeah.
I'm living the dream, baby. Living the dream.
That's it. Life's too short. One day I always say, live it while you can, because life's too short.
Yeah.
Right.
Great.
Thank you, Mason, for being
All
here.
right, brother Mason.
Thank you, Gene. Thanks, man. Thank you, Uncle Sal.
Yeah, no, this was great. A great show. I'm sure.
By the way, how did Uncle Sal come about?
Who's with Brian Kaufman?
Thanks, Brian.
Good brother.
Maybe I'll see you
Brother
for lunch
Brian,
tomorrow.
hey.
Brian
There's some
lives in
people
the
just
same
coming on
community.
now. They
What?
caught us late. There's some people just coming on now. They caught us late. They said,
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's okay. I bet you on YouTube there's a ton of views.
Yeah.
I watch it going up sometimes.
So how did the name Uncle Sal?
Uncle Sal, because I always call everybody like a lost long relative. Brother Mason,
Right.
Uncle Sal, Uncle, Uncle Joe. I still do that. So that's how you ended up calling me Uncle Sal, because I would say Brother Mason the whole time.
Yeah, Brother Mason. Yeah. I like that one. That's good. I accept that.
Yeah, man. Seeing
All right,
the
guys.
face makes me feel like the good old days. And
I really had fun. This was fun.
thank you
yeah,
so
we're gonna
much.
do it again. We'll definitely do it again.
That was
And we'll talk.
If you want to stay on when we come off the air, if you want to just talk to Gene.
Well, at some point, I gotta let the beast out of her cage.
Do your thing. Do your thing.
She's in her
Okay.
crate.
Peace,
Well, we'll send you
everybody.
my info.
By the
Thank
way,
you.
I haven't had dinner yet.
Go eat.
Oh yes.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Paul. Thanks,
Paulie just gave me the confetti. I
see.
always get confetti. Where's the
Thanks
balloon?
guys. Thanks,
Oh,
everybody.
yeah. I was wondering what that was. Okay.
Have a good night, everybody.
Thank
Talk to
you.
you
Thank
soon.
you, guys.
Peace, my
Appreciate
brother.
it.
Bye, everybody.
Be well.
Yes.